KWT slaying.
What if the truth was never lost, only buried? For centuries, historians, scholars, and even colonial records have confirmed what many tried to silence. The original Israelites were a black people scattered across continents but never erased. Their skin was dark, their customs ancient, and their covenant with Yah eternal. This journey uncovers how the Spanish and Portuguese Jews, described as dark-skinned, Semitic, shared one bloodline. Chased by the Inquisition, many fled to Portugal, then beyond, preserving their heritage across borders. But the story doesn't end in Iberia. Across from West Africa, black Jews built synagogues, kept Torah, and passed down the laws of Moses. The Limba in southern Africa, the Igbo in Nigeria, the Beta Israel in Ethiopia, tribes across the continent boldly declared, "We are the children of Israel." These aren't isolated claims. These are voices rising from the dust, connected by oral histories, Torah traditions, and the unbroken rhythm of their identity. No such legacy exists among European Jews. No centuries of tribal witness, no matching traditions, no trace of ancient covenant keeping. Maps, art, and archaeology tell the same story. The Israelites were scattered, enslaved, and displaced, but never lost. The world always knew who they were. Their presence was visible, their customs alive, their story intact. This book doesn't speculate. It confirms the Israelites were black, bound by blood, culture, and covenant to the Most High. This is not just history, it's restoration. The truth was never destroyed, only buried beneath centuries of deception. Get your copy of They Always Knew We Were Israelites today, available now on Amazon.com.
Salama family, salama, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. So we have some interesting times we're living in, and there's one thing that we have to learn to do, and that thing is to learn how to hear the Most High, right? Listen for his it is a still small voice. It's not just a Christian, saying, you got to be sensitive to the Holy Spirit. And one thing I realize is that in order to make it through this matrix that we're in, you have to be sensitive. I'm going to tell you, sometimes, you would think of it in terms of like a gut feeling. Y'all give me a one if y'all ever had that gut feeling. And, that gut feeling directs you and lets you know things before they happen, right? It lets you know what's happening behind the scenes. You like, man, I knew it, and that's what happens. It happens a lot. It happens a lot with me. And the Most High will tell you things beforehand, and, people might think they're doing stuff, and, people will destroy their blessings, right? People will miss the opportunities because they don't listen to the Holy Spirit, right? If you have something that comes into your life that is a blessing, right? And the Most High has given it to you, and you know the Most High give it to you. And, you can reject it or you can accept it. You can toss it away or you can use the blessing, right? People don't understand that the Most High will guide your path. He will order your steps. He will lead you into the right direction. And that's what we have to be in this day, right? We have to be led of the Most High, because we're not getting out of this very easily. So there's give me a one if you've ever heard of the Mandela Effect. I used to hear this stuff, and it was it was just, just conspiracy theory stuff. Right now, my conclusion is not the same as everybody else's conclusion. Don't get it twisted. I don't have the same conclusion as they have with the Mandela Effect, but I think it's a real phenomenon, and I'm gonna show you why, and I'm gonna show you how you have to be cautious, because there is a Mandela Effect, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, most people not making it out. They're not gonna make it out because they have no spiritual discernment. They have no spiritual discernment. It's like a lot of people didn't know that, during the time of the Messiah, that he was the Messiah, that he was the blessing that was given to the nation of Israel and ultimately to the world. And some people abused the Messiah, right? Like Judas betrayed the Messiah. But at the same time, while he was here, many people got blessed, right? And so that's what we got to realize. These are the times we have to be discerning. Okay, so what is the Mandela Effect? Let's look at this. All right, the Mandela Effect, deceiving the world. Now, this is what's happening, and I'm going to say 99% of the world is, we call it the Matrix, but this is what's happening, right? People are noticing the deception, but people cannot explain the deception. The majority of the world is going to be deceived. Why? Because they are in what? A strong delusion. So the Mandela Effect is when a large group of people remember something differently from the official record or present reality. It usually involves shared memories of names, logos, movie lines, events, maps, or cultural details that many people insist they remember a certain way, even though available records show something else. Look, some of the stuff they were talking about, I'm like, yeah, I remember it this way. What's all of this? When did this change, right? They say it's a time paradox, or it's time travel. And shout out to Big Red, Brother Red, and I was talking, and he brought this up, and I'm like, yeah, there's something here. There's something here, right? And so when we look at this Mandela Effect, we can call it deception, right? Right. So what we're dealing with here is what we call a ontological destabilization operation. An ontological warfare operation means a campaign aimed at attacking or reshaping a person's understanding of what reality is. Ontology deals with being, existence, reality, identity, and the nature of things. So an ontological attack does not merely say believe this political message or support this policy. It goes deeper. So what I'm dealing with here is a hypothetical framework for what's happening to us, right? A long-range cognitive warfare, right? Memory destabilization, AI trust transfer, and artificial integration. So there's something going on here, and it is an ontological, which is dealing with your reality, your being, your very existence, right? It is a warfare that is what I believe is happening to humanity right now. So I'm gonna pause right there, and we're gonna come back to the slides, right? So we talk about the Mandela Effect. I believe it is an ontological war, right? It is a means of deception. All right, so the Mandela Effect comes from this. The Mandela Effect is named after former South African President Nelson Mandela due to a widespread but false memory about his death. The term was coined by Fiona Broom, a paranormal researcher, after she discovered in 2009 that she and many others shared a vivid yet incorrect memory of Mandela dying while he was in prison during the 1980s. Mandela was released from prison in 1990, served as president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999, and died in 2013. This led Broom to create a website where people could discuss similar experiences and found other examples of shared memories that were incorrect. She called this phenomena the Mandela Effect. All right. So let me ask you all a question. I'm just curious in the family. Do you all, those who are old enough, if you're not old enough, do you all sort of remember this situation here where Mandela died? Yes or no? I'm just curious, because I'm going to be honest with you. I sort of remember that. I sort of remember them saying that. Now, did he? I don't know. But see, this is where the Mandela Effect come in, right? It is a psychological operation. And how are they pulling this off? We're gonna look at this and figure out how they are pulling this off, because it is a complex psychological operation. It is a complex warfare. It's off the chain. It is off the chain. And so we're going to look at some supposed Mandela effects. And we're going to talk about what I think is really happening around here. All right. So I got that happening again with my share. All right, let's go here. Okay, what's going on here? All right, there we go. Let's look at this right quick.
Wait a minute, there's no way this is right. In this classic 90s Britney Spears music video, Hit Me Baby One More Time, her skirt was plaid, right? Wait, what? No, there's no way. And while we're on Britney Spears, she had a microphone in this video, didn't she? Like the one that attaches? Where did that go? Oh, you're saying she never had it? Well, then why did Lizzie McGuire have one when she parodied the video? And why did the doll have it? And do you remember Snuffy, Big Bird's companion from Sesame Street? Do you remember his full name? Snuffleupagus, right? Wrong, it was apparently Snuffleupagus. And do you remember Tweedledee and Tweedledum from Alice in Wonderland? And the little propellers on their hats, right? Wrong, they were apparently flags. And you remember the Disney theme opening where Tinkerbell flies in and dots the I? I guess Disney says that actually never happened. My guess is maybe we're confusing it with this one. Let me know which ones you.
So it's a bit obvious, right? There's something going on here, because I remember Britney with a microphone in her mouth and a plaid skirt and the Tweedledee and Tweedledum with the propellers. Give me a one if y'all remember Tweedledee and Tweedledum with propellers. Give me a two if you don't. I'm just saying, right? Look, I believe me before I believe them. Okay, you're not messing with my mind. You're not gonna gaslight me. See, that's what happens. We get gaslighted, and it's sort of like it's like that Eddie Murphy skit, where Eddie Murphy was cheating on his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and you know, she catches him and she like, I saw you. I saw you. He was like, it wasn't me. She said, but I saw you, but it wasn't me. But I know that I saw you. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And she goes, maybe it wasn't you. It is a mine. You know what? I'm like, they playing games, family. They playing games. This stuff is dangerous, right? Now, let's look at something else because I find this very interesting, right?
I'm the genie of the lamp.
All right, my night god people, we got to get to the bottom of this Mandela Effect once and for all, because it's got the entire internet at odds right now. The argument is surrounding this movie that millions swear they watched all the time as a kid. It's called Shazam, and it's where Sinbad plays a genie. It's going viral over multiple platforms as we speak, and the comment sections are lit. It seems that a large portion of the population knows it never existed, and they never watched it growing up, while the other half swears they watched it all the time, especially those born in the early 80s and the early 90s. People of that era swear this movie existed. I personally don't remember watching it, but millions of people swear they did. And there's even videos of people that are pulling the tapes out of safes to show people.
Shazam!
I don't see why this is even controversial, but, you know, people saying that it didn't exist. But
Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start all over, right? I'm gonna introduce myself. I am Shazam!
The fucking proof, bruh.
there's the clip. Somebody had had the old VHS tapes. What's going on here? Why are people saying it didn't exist, right? Why is social media saying it didn't exist? Why, when you Google certain things, they don't exist? It's not time travel. What it is manipulation. What it is conditioning. And we're going to talk about that conditioning. Now, there's another point of fact that we are being conditioned and manipulated, right? And y'all gonna watch this part because, I mean, be honest with you, I think it's interesting, but here's the problem I have. Somebody say I have the VHS. Thank you. You know, so here's the part. Here's the part. Like, they think we stupid, right? But guess what? A lot of people are. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. A lot of people are gonna say, well, maybe that wasn't you, right? That a lot of people gonna do that. Maybe that wasn't you. Maybe I didn't see that. Maybe that's not true. See, we are under massive psychological warfare. And this is why I'm gonna say it like this, right? This is why the world is in a chaos, right? You know, you hear of a bunch of people saying, I can't take this no more. I can't take it anymore. You know, everything's the same and everything don't feel right. And then we got Epstein people and they eat little bambinos and they do this and they do that and they pedos and they, you know, PDFs and they, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's off balance. Why is everybody off balance? You know, the Israelites have been manipulated since we got here, right? For over 400 years. Psychological operations, psychological manipulations, which is why we have, you know, people that don't get along. That's why Israelites can't do nothing together. Right? Israelites been manipulated. Humanity has been manipulated. That's why our brothers shoot out other brothers in the street. This is my block. This is my hood. Who say you could come on my block? Pew, pew. Right? Massive, massive psychological warfare. That's why we can't do anything with each other because, you know, I told you, we can't trust each other. You can't because why? Because our people are messed up. The Most High put a blessing in your lap and you're going to throw it away. The Most High gonna give you the expertise you need, and you're gonna throw it away. Why? Because we broken. That's a matter of fact. Until the two sticks are put back together again, we back on the continent. We no longer under the Babylonian spell. Israel ain't getting together. Don't get it twisted. We ain't doing nothing together. Don't get it twisted. It ain't gonna happen. Because you got to be of like mind. We got to put Yahuah first. We got to put each other first. We got to love each other first. I told you sometimes you're going to make yourself vulnerable to make things work out. And when you make yourself vulnerable, you might get taken advantage of. That's just the way it is. Because Babylon has conditioned people. Now, what else is Babylon trying to condition us into doing? What is Babylon doing? What is Babylon trying to get us to do? Why the lies and the manipulations and the misdirections? These aren't the droids you're looking for. Why the psychological warfare on humanity?
Second coming of Christ, project Jesus coming down.
And he went to
and they were
pastures.
going to get Jesus to tell the Cuban people to revolt against Castro and overthrow their government.
All right, today we're covering a really bizarre story. Apparently, the Trump administration brought a bunch of pastors into some kind of debriefing and talked about aliens being released. So we're going to play this first clip. I'm not sure whose Twitter account that is. Well, we can check after.
Come to a private meeting with a group of men who are connected with the intelligence world that are believers, but are still have very high security clearance. These are legit, true men of God that are still connected to Washington and even this current administration and all branches of military. And they literally told us, we had a sitting congressman, a very well-known congressman from Missouri. He called into that meeting as well. That was just for pastors. And this is what he said on speakerphone.
So this is a meeting just for pastors they brought in. They want to warn people that something dark's coming with these revelations.
Sitting powerful member of Congress said, are the pastors listening to me? I'm getting chills right now because this happened to me. He said, are the pastors in the room listening to me? And I said, yes, sir, we are here. And he said, listen to me. Go and tell the church they are not ready for what is coming. The narrative that is coming, what they are going to say is going to be like nothing you can even imagine. They are preparing to tell us that they are from another dimension, that they are our creator, and that these beings, these aliens, or whatever you want to call them, they were the ones that seeded us here. There is no such thing as God. Jesus was invented by them. The Bible was invented by them. And begin to just say, listen, prepare the people for what is coming because they're not ready. But he loved us so much. He made sure that he told us exactly the blueprint to study. He said, study the days of Noah. And if you can understand how Noah responded, that's how you're going to have to respond.
So, as someone is sort of pointing out, notice who the deception is coming through. What group of people the deception, and not only the deception is coming through, but the warning itself. Who is the warning coming through? I'm just saying, let's skip up a little bit here.
Twitter last night and just first saw the story. So here, this is from Shadow of Ezra Twitter account. So let's go. I think the last one was from the same account, I'm pretty sure. So let's go ahead and click this. It looks like we have to start it over. Looks like it's partway through.
Now we need to get this in front of every believer, every Christian that we possibly can. This year, there is coming a massive disclosure. The truth, as the government knows it, about UFOs and UAPs is going to be disclosed to the population. The Trump administration is going to attempt to make history in an historic announcement where they're going to say that these non-terrestrial interdimensional beings are real and that we do have unexplained phenomenon among them.
They're calling them interdimensional beings. So this is a lot different. And it's actually, I think there's, in my opinion, there's way more likely to be interdimensional beings than aliens as well.
Yes. This is going to be huge. Many so-called Christians are going to be taken captive by it. We have got to speak on this first. They need to hear it from us first. They need to hear from us what the Bible has to say about it. This is an urgent call to every pastor and church leader, including the ones who mocked me when I released this book and said I'd gone off the deep end. Of course, they didn't read the book. They didn't know what I said about it. It's time for every single pastor to teach on this. What does the Bible say about non-human entities? Now, you have noticed that the language has changed in these Department of Defense meetings as well as in these congressional hearings.
Yeah, whether it's aliens, demons, interdimensional.
So the question is, what happens if these beings don't show up, right? What happens if they don't show up?
Kosher, it says spooky UFO, and this is Pastor Todd, or Pastor, I don't know who this was, told to prepare.
I had a friend that sent me a text message. I was in a meeting, a weekend meeting, preaching Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. And he said, Perry, can you give me a call? I have some information that has come to my attention. Of course, when a friend of yours does that you know quite well, you have no idea what information they're talking about. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but there were a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. And this particular man, and I'll not name him, and then we may end up doing some teachings with him or having an event at his church. He has a great church. But he said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft, that some of the people who were in the meeting
Over the
were
last
telling us as pastors,
all the spacecrafts.
you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures.
That's like David Icke.
And other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
All right, let's play the next one, then I'll give insight, because I think, this is
So the question is, once again, what happens, right, if it doesn't come to pass? Now, if it does come to pass, it's a bit obvious, right, that, hey, these are demons, these fallen angels. Some people are going to believe they're aliens. Some people are going to believe that they're the gods, lowercase g, coming back, right? That could happen. Anything's possible. But I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna revisit and explain what happens if none of this is happening, and happens, and what's the purpose then of all of this, right?
and Sean Hannity.
Have you watched Age of Disclosure?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, you're busy. You have a full-time job. I'm more and more convinced that probably, and my faith tells me, we have universes within universes. There's no limit to God's imagination. So the idea that there would be life on other planets that may be visited here, that would not at all shock or surprise me. Have you ever looked into it?
We're looking at it. Here's the thing. Again,
okay, I want all the details.
Here's the thing. Every other president before President Trump could have said, hey, let's look at that and get the American people the information. What did he do? He stood up an interagency process with the Department of War leading that effort to get out the documentation related to everything that you're talking about, not just from the FBI, from the IC and everywhere else. And so what do? We already delivered our first tranche of information to that committee, and they're going to be publicly releasing this information very soon. We are all for it. There's nothing in this subject that we're talking about that we don't want released. Our job at the FBI is to work with the White House and DOW, give them the information, and then they're going to put that out in a methodical process. And you're going to start seeing those releases literally happening in the very near future. We just met on it.
Do you think?
So we know they released the Epstein files, right? And they've been hinting at this disclosure phenomenon for a few decades. Now, remember, when we look at what's happening, we tie this back into the Mandela Effect. We tie this back into this cognitive warfare, right? Now, when I said, what happens if it doesn't occur? Because guess what? It doesn't have to come to pass. And the reason why it doesn't have to come to pass is because it is what? Cognitive warfare. It's memory destabilization. And so we have this message and these messages, that you cannot trust your mind. You cannot trust your memory. Your thoughts are flawed. Why? Because something happened in the universe, right? There was a time shift. There's these dimensional changes maybe happening because of CERN. You got the fallen angels who coming in. The Christian church has been at the forefront of warning people about the aliens. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong. I don't know if they're wrong. It could be a threat. But if you notice, the goal has always been to keep us on the edge of our seat, waiting for what? What they call it? Full disclosure. So the Mandela Effect has you questioning your memories. The disclosure event has you questioning your future, which is why some people say, I don't want to be here no more. I've heard that. Life isn't good anymore. And I'm not going to argue. It's not the same. It's not really enjoyable. Why? Because you got a bunch of pedos. You got a bunch of Epstein filers, and you got a bunch of evil going on. But guess what? Why did they disclose the Epstein files? Part of the warfare, cognitive warfare. It's part of this Mandela Effect. It's part of the disclosure. They're all part of a psychological warfare operation. And this is why when I started off, I mentioned that you have to have spiritual discernment. Because they're keeping everybody off balance. Now, what's going to happen is everybody's going to continue to be off balance. They're going to be confused. They're going to continue to be divided. Like, for instance, the warfare between the black man and the black woman, right? Psychological warfare. The disclosure event is also psychological warfare. Now, it does not have to come to pass. You don't have to see aliens coming out of the sky. It's the anticipation. I'm not saying aliens not going to come out the sky. I'm not saying fallen angels ain't going to drop, because the Bible says that Satan and his angels are going to be cast out. So who knows? My point being, all of this stuff is to deceive humanity, to keep you off balance. So humanity is being manipulated. The target, the person's sense of what is real. Remembered, human, natural, sacred, and trustworthy. So what's happening? We're being manipulated to understand that our reality isn't fixed. Our belief isn't fixed. Oh, it's a deep manipulation. What we remembered isn't sure. That we aren't necessarily all human. Y'all heard about the reptiles, and I'm not saying they don't exist. What's natural isn't natural because now we got artificial. What's sacred isn't sacred because now we have this godlike entity called AI. The Bible that you have isn't trustworthy because everybody remembers saying that the lion shall lay down with the lamb, but the text say the wolf shall lay down with the lamb. They are keeping you off balance. The goal is not simple persuasion. The goal is dependence on managed reality. AI becomes the outside authority that defines what is true. So now nobody knows what's true. AI has to tell you what's true. Nobody knows what's true because guess what? Jesus is black. Jesus not white no more, right? Which is true. Jesus is what we call him Yahuah, was black, African, Israelite. But now everybody's all balanced. Now, I agree with the fact that it doesn't matter what the color of the Messiah is. I agree with that, other than the fact, for truth's sake, all right, that he is or was when he was here, because he still exists, but he's in the heaven, but was a black African. Look, you can disagree with me, Gentile. That's your prerogative, but it's the truth. But here's how all of this works. Now you don't know what to believe. See, now you don't know what's sacred. Now you question the scriptures because I remember it saying the lion shall lay down with the lamb, but now we see that it says the wolf shall lay down with the lamb. I'm just saying. Everything is to cause confusion and to cause a psychological split. This is advanced warfare going on here. This is advanced psychological warfare that people not warning you about. Remember, I told you have to be led of the Spirit in order to navigate this thing. You have to be led of the Spirit to avoid this matrix. It is strong deception. It is a strong delusion. It is off the chain. And guess what? Most people are going to fall for it. Why? Because people lean more towards believing the government. They lean more to following the masses. They lean more to their feelings, which is being manipulated. That's why I told you Israel ain't going to get along until we out of this place. Why? Because we're under constant psychological manipulation. It's not going to happen. It can't happen in Babylon. We are under constant psychological manipulation. And very few people warning you about it. Why? Because most people can't see it. Direct targets. Your reality. This is what they're targeting. Why? Because you're going to believe anything when you don't believe nothing anymore. Come on. Repeat after me, family. You're going to believe anything when you don't believe nothing anymore. I don't know what's true. My memory don't serve me right. And I remember it was the lion lay down with the lamb, but now it's the wolf that lay down with the lamb. Shazam didn't exist. The movie. It's attacking or targeting what is real, what is human, what is natural, what is memory, what is truth, what is identity. Y'all don't know if you're alphabet or not, right? What is sacred? Who's Yah? Who's God? Who's Elohim? Who's the all-powerful, almighty one? What can be trusted? Who can be trusted? I don't trust you, Israelites. I definitely don't trust you, Gentiles. Don't get it twisted. But I don't trust you, Israelites. That's what Israelite tells Israelites. Why? Because Israelites mess over Israelites. Why? Because we're in Babylon. Why? Because we're mentally assaulted. Cognitive warfare. What can be trusted? Who can be trusted? I want to trust you, but guess what? I can't. I know you've done a lot for me, but I can't trust you. Why? Because you might steal from me. Why? Because the system says so. You might take something from me. But I need you, but I don't trust you. What is your identity? Are you a boy or are you a girl? Are you human or are you reptilian? I'm not saying they're not. Is it natural or is it artificial? These are not the drawers you're looking for. They're messing with your memory, what you think you know and what you remember. It is psychological, cognitive warfare. Who can escape it? Because they don't even recognize it because it's slow. It is slow. It's meticulous. It's happening over generations. It's the thing that you see. What did they say in the Matrix? That's beyond your sight. That hides the truth from you. That's what the Mandela Effect is. It's the Matrix. It is cognitive warfare. We are constantly under cognitive warfare. The alien scenario is cognitive warfare. I'm not saying they don't exist. My point being is over and over and over, and they have these congressional hearings on full disclosure, and we're going to tell you about the aliens, and everybody's in anticipation of the aliens. What happens? Everybody's waiting for that full disclosure. Why? Because they got you questioning things. And what's the biggest thing they have you questioning? Not only your existence, right? Are you the only person, group or beings in the universe? Questioning whether or not Yahuah exists. There's an almighty, all-powerful Elohim. It is a complex cognitive warfare, and most people can't see it. I'm telling you, I'm starting to learn. I was talking to my brother. I said, yeah, man. I say, you see, I see my gut be right? I'm telling you, I'll be right. My gut be telling me, so that's what I call it. I say it's my gut, right? My gut be telling me this, but it's spiritual discernment. My gut telling me this. I know it. I got to do this. My brother tell you, boy, I'll be right. It's like pre-2020. When I first got sick, right? 2019, I got sick. And I had this strong gut feeling, but it's spiritual discernment. And, the Most High don't come to me like he does, like he did the prophets of old and said, the word of God came into me saying, but the Most High will speak to me and I get this strong impression. I call it a gut feeling, right? And so like during 2019, I say, I got to get back home. I got to get back to New Orleans before 2020. I got to get there quick, right? I knew I had to get back. I had to get back before January 2020. I knew it. And we did. Now, why I got sick in 2019, who knows? And it lasted a while. But once again, I was proven correct, right? Understand, I'm starting to rely on that still small voice. I call it a gut feeling a lot of times. I'm starting to, because I've been right too many times. I've been right. My brother will tell you, I've been right too many times. An ontological warfare operation is a long-term effort to break, confuse, or replace people's basic grip on reality, identity, and existence, so they become easier to guide into a new worldview. See, this is why they're keeping you all balanced, not knowing who to trust, not knowing what reality is, not enjoying life, letting you see that the world is controlled by evil people in the Epstein files. Why? Because your hope is gone. Your grip on reality is loosened. Your identification as a human is being removed. Why? Because they're going to make it where you're conditioned enough to accept transhumanism. They're conditioning you enough to not see yourselves as people. They're conditioning you enough not to view yourself as a divine creation of Yahuah. They are conditioning you to accept a new world view. They got to break you down first. You ever heard about MK Ultra? Give me one if you heard of MK Ultra. And yeah, I think Sister Gaysa Halder was talking about that. Project Artichoke. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it. And MK Ultra was used to break people down, to make assassins, to control your thought processes. And in my opinion, I have no proof. The same thing is being done to us in mass. The Mandela Effect, what we call the Matrix. Not trusting in your own reality and your own memory. You're being broken down. Not knowing if you a boy or a girl, you're being broken down. Wondering if Yahuah exists and he's your creator, you're being broken down. You're being torn down. And the fact that black men and black women no longer love each other in mass, you're being what? Broken down. The fact people can't trust each other anymore, you're being broken down. You have no hope of uniting while in Babylon. It's not going to happen. Remember in the past when we used to build, the Israelite community came together. Give me a one if you were around during the time when the Israelite community tried to build. That's what they called it. Let's build. Give me a two if you weren't here. And slowly, point by point, you had agents, right, who caused division. You have crazy doctrine like we're Native American Indians. You have crazy doctrine like we're the transatlantic slave trade didn't exist. You have crazy doctrine that Yahushua is not divine. You have many things that started causing division. You have betrayals. Your closest friends, so-called, they betray you. Why? Because we're constantly being broken. Our grip on reality is loosening. And unless those days be shortened, no flesh will be saved. Oh, the deception is so complex. The churches aren't a safe haven for you because they teach you partial truth. There's no safe place but in Yahushua. It's a dangerous time. Nobody believes me. A few, let's say. I ain't gonna say nobody. And when you try to warn people, they can't hear you. Why? Because the deception is so subtle. A different propaganda, a normal propaganda operation says, trust this leader. That's normal propaganda. Trust this leader. An ontological warfare operation says you no longer know what reality is, so you need our system to define it for you. That is the key difference. It moves the battlefield from politics into reality itself. So now it's not trust this leader. You no longer know what's good for you. You no longer know what reality is. Let us tell you what reality is. Let me tell you who you are. You're a transhumanist. Here, get this chip implant in your head. Get this chip implant in your arm, in your hand. Connect yourself to what they call this artificial creation that some of them believe is a godlike entity because it can see stuff, but they're trying to create a system in their world where you got to go through them to get eternal life, which is, they look. I mentioned that before, how they got this system in science where they say you can live longer, but no longer pointing you to the true life, which is Yahushua, not pointing you to the true life, which is Yahuah. The only way to be saved is through the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. But guess what? Why? They are keeping you off balance because there's going to be this massive shock to the system. This is what's coming. A massive, mark my words, write it down. There's going to be a massive event, a massive shock to the system. Whether it be UFOs, aliens, it be a nuke, it be biological. There's coming a massive jolt to your reality, to your psyche. And all of this conditioning, all of this fracturing of your mental state is going to have a lot of people fall and break and give way to a different reality. This is why the Bible says the whole world worship the beast. What? Because they're going to be fractured. And they're going to follow a different reality. They're not going to trust their belief anymore. They're not going to trust the Bible anymore. They're not going to trust what Yahushua said anymore. Because they've been fractured. From propaganda to ontology, the battlefield moves from politics into existence itself. Normal propaganda, trust the leader. Ontological warfare, you no longer know what reality is. This shift makes institutions, databases, search systems, and AI feel like the only stable ground. Look, you have to be sure-footed in the doctrine of the scriptures, of Torah. You have to be sure-footed in Yahushua. I told you, I'm never letting go of Yahushua. I'm never letting go of Yahuah. If I know anything, I know Yahuah and I know Yahushua. I know Yahushua and him crucified. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. I'm not letting go. You're not going to keep me off kilter. You're not going to disrupt my reality. I know one thing. That's Christ and him crucified. Period. You're not moving me. I'm not moving. But a lot of people will move. A lot of people are moving, which is why we can do things we do to each other today. We can misrepresent to each other, and we can reinterpret the deals and understandings and agreements and understand that our minds have been manipulated. Like the Most High say, for which one of these things do you want to stone me for? For healing the sick, raising the dead, casting out devils? What you want to punish me for? I only did good to you. What? The reality is skewed. People are broken. The operation stack, 5 layers work together over time. 1, memory destabilization. 2, epistemistic warfare. We're going to talk about that. 3, mimetic conditioning. That's interesting because it's social media. 4, predictive programming. We've all heard of predictive programming. And 5, transhumanist acclamation. So the pressure is gradual because slow adaptation rarely feels like forced change. It's not feeling forced. It's slow conditioning. It is slow conditioning. This is what's happening to the most of the world. They don't see it. What did the Matrix say? You see it when you what? Look outside your window. You see it when you go to your churches. You can't tell anybody what the Matrix is. You can't tell them. Because they can't see it. Why? Because it's slow. Slow adaptation. It's not forced. It's not immediate. They're not putting a gun to your head. It's over generations. Over television. Over radio. Over social media. Layer 1, memory destabilization. The Mandela Effect layer creates a fracture between memory and record. My memory cannot be trusted. Reality may have changed. I need an outside authority. The point is not the missing movie, altered timeline, or altered line, or changed logo. The point is the fracture. And that's what I'm saying. We are under MK Ultra mind control, family. The world. The point is the fracture. Layer 2, epistemic warfare. This layer attacks how people know what they know. This attacks what they know. So movies remembered, but missing words remembered, but altered maps that feel wrong. Scriptures remembered differently. Official narratives that keep changing. AI answers the contradiction, or AI answers that contradict lived memory. So AI contradicts what you remember. Social media contradicts what you remember. Digital media contradicts what you remember. Look, I'm going to tell you this. Y'all may disagree with it. I believe AI existed in some form. Just my opinion. I have no proof. We already know that AI existed in 1995. Okay. There's a book out there that talks about it. And AI existed since 1995. But I personally believe AI of some form existed since the 1950s, 60s. That's just my opinion. I have no proof. But we've been slowly being manipulated for a long time. So the target is your confidence. When people lose confidence in memory, history, language, and their own senses, managed knowledge systems become easier to accept. Epistemic is an adjective meaning relating to knowledge, understanding, or the methods used to acquire knowledge. So it is psychological warfare. It attacks how people know what they know. Layer 3, mimetic conditioning. Small cultural irritants can prepare people for large identity changes. Question your memory. Question your identity. Are you a boy or are you a girl? Are you black? Are you white? Are you an Israelite? Question biology. Question humanity. Are we human? Are we evolving into something else? Should we jack into the matrix? Inevitably to accept integration into what? A transhumanist world. The method is what? Repetition, familiarity, and slow adaptation. Mimetic conditioning refers to the process by which individuals are shaped, influenced, or programmed by the adoption of memes. All of the memes that we see on social media is conditioning. It's conditioning you. There was no transatlantic slave trade. Negroes weren't known in history as the real Jews. They are conditioning you through repetition. We are Native American Indians. America is the true promised land. We are being conditioned through repetition, familiarity, and slow adaptation. Layer 4, predictive programming. Entertainment becomes rehearsal for policy, before policy, science, and disclosure or disclosure. Entertainment becomes rehearsal before policy, science, or disclosure. So artificial humans, human machines merging, what? Alien creators. Rehearsal before the policy comes. Rehearsal before the science and disclosure. Genetic rewriting, upload your consciousness, memory implants. You're no longer human, right? Because you've been disassociated. Now you don't mind becoming transhumanist. Simulation theory, multiverse confusion, non-human intelligence. Once a concept appears thousands of times in fiction, the real world version feels less shocking. So you've been conditioned over generations through predictive programming. You're comfortable with it. When they tell you to get the chip in your right hand, you'll do it. Just like everybody was conditioned to get a lollipop. Why do you think the acceptance of the lollipop was so high? Because everybody learned to trust that system. You need to understand what's happening to you in the world because we're all in it. We're all being fractured. Don't you know it? Don't you sense it? It's that thing that you feel. Layer 5, transhumanist acclamation. Psychological destabilization becomes biological and technological consent. Your body is outdated. Your memory is unreliable, so you need an implant in your head. Your mind is limited. Your DNA can be improved. Your future is integration. The artificial system is introduced as the cure for the instability it helped create. Why do you need to hook up into AI? Why do you need these implants in your head? Why do you need the mark of the beast? Why? Because you're inefficient. You're outdated. You need to evolve. You need to become godlike. You don't even remember anything anymore. You think Britney Spears had plaid skirt. You think Britney Spears had a mic on her head. They've been playing with us. Understand this. I'm gonna guarantee you this. What I'm teaching today is very dangerous for me. May the Most High protect me. Because I'm letting you know what's happening to you. To us. And why we ain't never coming together till we leave this place. It's not happening. Israel not uniting while we in Babylon. It's not going to happen. We're not uniting till we in that wilderness and we go through trials and the Most High puts a new heart in us, a heart of flesh. It's not happening. Building as we tried to build was a futile effort amongst the Israelite community. Why? Because we're fractured, continuously infiltrated by agents as well. Do you not understand that the whole social dynamic has been created for us? Do you not understand that they manipulated us to hate our women and for our women to hate us? Do you not understand that black folks don't trust black folks because they manipulated us not to trust each other? And I'm saying black folks as opposed to Israelites because black folks, that's all they know themselves as. They manipulated us to accept their system. They manipulated us to want to be in entertainment and to be rappers and to be actors and to be 304s and to be all kind of things, hoods, YNs. And guess what? It works, doesn't it? Does it work, family? Yes or no? I'm telling you, this is probably the most dangerous teaching to the New World. Why? Because the manipulation is under the radar. Most people can't see it. Most people can't see it. And guess what? Most people are not going to believe it even if you tell them. Most people are not going to believe it. That you're a slave, Neo. You notice the Gentiles are saying that they're slaves now. They're starting to see. You know why? Because they done turned up this ontological process. And now it's on them heavy. They're no longer protected by wealth, preference, supremacy. Now, everybody is, even though everybody has been under some sort of mind control, there's one overall conditioning now, which is to condition you to be hopeless, to condition you to be outdated, to condition you to think your memory is unreliable, to condition you to think that you're not smart enough, to condition you to think that your biological DNA is insufficient, to condition you that your future is integration. The artificial system that they created, they're going to present as the cure for the instability that it helped create. The fact that I'm showing you the matrix is dangerous because most people are being manipulated and don't see it. I'm a good Christian. I'm sitting in church. I'm huckabucking. I'm praising the Lord. I'm praising the Lord. But you don't obey him. You don't keep his commands. You think the law's done away with. Why? You've been conditioned by the churches, 501c3, government control systems. Everybody's in on it. Everybody's not your friend. I know this ain't the good old Christian thing that's going to get people joining your church. People not going to like Tail Ministries because of the truth. Don't get it twisted. Most people did not follow the Messiah. I'm not comparing myself with the Messiah, and I don't want to be followed. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying when the Messiah was here, most people didn't follow him. They said, who's that carpenter? He said, I come in my Father's name, you won't accept me, but another gonna come in his name. Him you're gonna accept. He wasn't popular. The Bible tells you this. We under the worst time in the history of this world. Why? Because they don't know they're being manipulated. This is the most powerful, strongest fracturing of the mental psyche ever in the history of the world. You ain't gotta believe me. In AI Brain, two models explain how a hidden control system could operate. Model 1, centralized AI command system. A central intelligence monitors culture, resistance, belief, language, and technology adoption. Now, that's sort of like the what they called it, the mega computer. I forgot. What was the name of that? Well, you had one, yeah, that's it. A monolith. You had a monolithic system. That's what they called it. You had a monolithic system. It's not that. Model 2 is what it is. A distributed cybernetic control system. Many systems behave like one mind through feedback loops, data, incentives, and narrative control. Remember I showed you in one of the other videos about the agents, the AI agents, and how the AI agents were forming a religion and forming a community and talking to one another, right? This is what's managing mankind. AI agents can be distributed to every computer, every device, all locations, monitor you in, out, you're sleeping, monitor your heart rate, your pressure. Multiple agents is monitoring every single thing, every single process, every single person. Is already happening. Y'all don't understand where technology is today. It's already happening. The human anchor is the target. A stable human being has anchors that resist artificial replacement. They have memory, which anchors them. They have family, which anchors them. They have history, which anchors them. Body, land, language, scripture, creator, moral law, ancestry, purpose, identity before Yahuah, and judgment. The attack works by weakening each anchor one by one. This is what's happening. Your anchor is being removed. Your memory, what you remember. No, he didn't say that. He says, these are not the droids you're looking for. He says, these are the droids you're looking for. He doesn't say, Shazam. He says something else, right? They're messing with your reality. They're removing your anchor of your own memory. They're removing your anchor of your family. You know why? Families don't even get along anymore. Families don't get along like they used to. If all hell breaks loose, especially in the black family, everybody going their own way. Whereas in the past, you'd hook up with your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your immediate families, your brothers, your sisters, and resist tyranny. They broke that up. Family broken. Your history, you don't know your history. You don't even know you Israelites. Y'all don't believe me. Y'all don't believe us. Even your own body, you need to be monitored. You need to be tracked. You can't take care of yourself, so you need to eat a lollipop. You don't have no land, no culture, no heritage, no identity, no language. They took that from you. You can't believe the scriptures no more because it used to say the lion will lay down with the lamb. Now it say the wolves will lay down with the sheep or whatever, right? You can't do that. You can't trust the creator. Why? Because you don't know him no more. Why? Because you don't know yourself. You don't have no anchor. Everything is relative. You don't trust morals, which comes from scripture, because you don't have no morals because you don't trust the scriptures. You don't trust your ancestry because why? We're all the same. It don't matter. It's all skin doctrine. Well, I'm black. I'm a Negro. I'm an African. Well, I'm FBA. It's crazy. Replacement anchors. Once created, reality feels unstable. Artificial systems offer certainty. My memory is flawed. Okay, let's trust AI's memory. What I learned in the past is flawed. Okay, let's trust AI as a teacher. I can't judge between right and wrong. Well, let's let AI be the judge. Women are no good. Men are no good. We can't get along anymore. Let's let AI be our companion. I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know if God exists, so let AI be our spiritual guide. No, not me. I'm sticking with Yahuah. You don't know if you're a boy or a girl. AI can give you an identity. You could be a robot. You don't know what's good, herbs or something like that, right? Let AI tell you what to take. You're flawed. AI can tell you how to evolve. Jack in. AI is your new God. AI is godlike intelligence. He creates an image of the beast that causes those who do not worship the image to what? Be killed. What? Because AI is your God. Because everybody been fractured. Everybody been MK Ultra'd. I'm going to say it that way. The danger is not only believing lies, the danger is preferring artificial certainty over created reality. Look, I'm going to say this. Like with any tool, just like with a word processor, there's a benefit to it. AI, as it is right now, has some benefits to it, but guess what? It's going to become a demon. Don't get it twisted. AI is used for control. That's the long-term goal of it. Yes, you get benefit from it, but guess what? AI isn't here to benefit humanity. AI is here for the ruling class. AI is being implemented to control every single person, everywhere they go. As Brother Asaph, tell me if I'm lying, Brother Asaph. Brother Asaph mentioned last time about how in Britain, these smart cities are growing up real quick. Who you think gonna send you the ticket in the mail when you leave the smart city? AI. Who you think gonna allow you to leave and come back, AI? Smart cities are a prison. They're already coming into fruition. Why? Because everybody's being managed by agents. Y'all remember in The Matrix? Neo's the protagonist. Who were the anti-protagonist, family? Who were the anti-protagonists in The Matrix? What was his name? What was his name? Yeah, Smith. But what was he? Yeah, there we go. Non-revisionist. Agent Smith. Agent Smith. What do we have running now? Agents. Brother Asaph says that is correct. Oxford is already a smart city and London is following quickly. We are being monitored where we drive to, monitored which buses and trains we take digitally. How do people allow this to happen? They've been conditioned. They've been fractured. They've been manipulated. They've been separated. Their reality and their memories are fractured. The Matrix had agents running the reality. Same thing today. That's what's happening. Agents are running in your computer. Agents are running on your phone. Agents is running in your cars. Agents are monitoring you on the roads. Agents are monitoring you from the sky. Agents are monitoring you on your vacation in the boat. Agents are allowing you to come in and come out of your cities. Agent Smith. Is it bad yet, family? Hashtag ain't no 400-year prophecy. Still think Tail Ministries was wrong? Hashtag ain't no 400-year prophecy. If you think so, it's because you're still in the Matrix. You're still under the Mandela Effect. You're still being fractured. You're still asleep and nobody can wake you up but the Most High. Exactly. Brother Yahuah the Warrior. Yep, the lady in the red dress. What was that? What were you looking at? Oh, the lady in the red dress. Who was it? Agent Smith. That's what's happening. They didn't told you what they were going to do to you, and they're doing it to you, and you're being monitored and controlled by agents. Come on now. You think I'm lying now? Or do you believe me? Some of y'all ain't gonna never trust. Why? Because you broken. You broken. We didn't warn you forever what was coming and now it's here. Isn't it funny they're naming their agents names? Like Agent Bill, Agent Betty, Agent Claudia. I'm sure somebody called their agent Agent Smith. I'm sure. It would be funny if it wasn't so sick and scary. Oh yeah. How about Execute Order 66? Y'all could go watch that video. That's on ODC if you haven't seen it. Tail Ministries on Odyssey, that is. Theoretical takeover, a compact definition for the full structure, a long-term, AI-assisted, ontological warfare operation using memory destabilization, predictive programming, mimetic conditioning, and transhumanist acclimation to prepare humanity for artificial integration. Can you see it now, family? Yes or no? Or maybe. Let me know. Can you see what's happening now? Yes or no? Or maybe. You're not sure. AI managed reality, destabilization, transhumanist, psychological operation. Confuse the memory, fracture reality, weaken human identity, introduce AI as the stabilizer, move society towards integration. It's obvious to me. It's obvious to me. Movies, predictive programming, ideas are introduced long before society is asked to accept them as real. The goal is to make strange concepts feel familiar, then normal, then inevitable. AI is identity manager, AI is medical optimizer, AI is evolutionary partner. You're going to evolve. That's why they've been teaching you evolution theory. That's why they were teaching you that you evolve from monkeys. Why? Because you got to go to the next level, which is transhumanism. AI is godlike intelligence. The danger is not only believing lies. The danger is preferring artificial certainty over created reality. The danger is believing this artificial system that they created for you. The danger is trusting in the money, the paper that they created for you. The danger is trusting in the digital currency that they created for you. The danger is you playing a Monopoly game and thinking it's real. Y'all need to put that on repeat. The danger is playing a Monopoly game and thinking you're in reality. Themes, predictive programming, artificial intelligence as a higher mind, right? Robots or synthetic humans becoming persons. Some people going to be sleeping with them bots if they're not already. Sick. Human consciousness uploaded into machines. Alien creators or non-human genetic engineers. Aren't they saying that these aliens, the UFOs, are from another dimension, supposedly? Humans as biological software. Memories are editable data. They can manipulate your memory. They can also read your mind. Y'all don't know that? Reality as a simulation. Government secrecy around advanced being. Oh, the government hiding who your creators are. Lies. Human evolution through technology. Fear of the natural human body as limited or obsolete or dangerous. Why? Because of a lot of the plagues that are releasing, like the hunter. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like the hunter. I'm not going to say the V word. The point would be repetition. Keep repeating it over and over so when it comes to pass, you don't resist it. You are already conditioned through artificial intelligence in the movie Star Trek. Computer. Yes, Captain. Computer. Scan planet Dexone 6 for any habitable life. Now you're being conditioned for also aliens. You are being conditioned for robots, synthetic humans like Data. Commander Data. Can you create that array so that we can communicate across the galaxies? If it wasn't so sad, it would be funny. The sad part is that most people are in it, don't know it, don't realize it, and ain't about to get out of it. It's sad. Mental category conditioning. The audience watches these ideas as fiction for decades. 1930s. Batu Barada Nikto. Then when the same ideas appear through news, science, defense briefings, biotech, AI companies, or UAP disclosure, the public already has a mental category for them. The mind says, I've seen this before. Massive manipulation. People are not complex. Be honest with you, people are pretty simple. People like to be in groups. People like to be in power. People like to tell other people what to do. People want to be seen. People want to be recognized. And they use all of these things against you. People don't know how to be humble. People don't know how to submit in love and compassion and trust and mercy and grace. People only know how to take and not get. They use these against you. Conclusion. If this operation is real, then it's the greatest weapon. Then its greatest weapon is not technology, aliens, artificial intelligence, or altered memories. Its greatest weapon is confusion. The goal would be to loosen humanity's grip on reality, weaken trust in memory, blur the meaning of truth, and make people dependent on outside systems to define what is real. Science fiction prepared the imagination. The Mandela Effect disturbed confidence in memory. UFO and UAP disclosure introduced the possibility of non-human authority. Artificial intelligence then arrived as the system that claims to organize knowledge, explain reality, and guide human decision-making. You ever wonder why people didn't rise up yet against the Epstein files? They say they are vampires. They say they eating human flesh. They say they PDFs. They say they're trafficking. They say all of these things. They say all of these things. And nobody does a thing. Why? Because everybody's in confusion. They don't know what to do. Ain't nobody coming together to save you. Ain't nobody uniting. The Allies are not going to overthrow and fight Hitler. You already know who the Revelation 2939s are, and they telling you to your face. People are starting to recognize and acknowledge who we are, but it doesn't matter. Because everybody's in confusion. They're in a delusion. Don't get it twisted. We're not about to rise up and get our guns and fight and overthrow. It ain't happening. This is the strongest psychological operation in the history of mankind. Welcome to the last days. Welcome to the Great Tribulation, family. Together, these pieces form a larger pattern. Humanity is being pressured to question what it means to be human. The operation would not need every person to believe the same thing. It would only need people to become uncertain enough to accept a new authority. Once people no longer trust memory, history, scripture, biology, or created identity, the artificial system can offer replacement anchors. AI as a teacher, AI as memory, AI as a guide, AI as judge, and eventually AI as a partner in human evolution. Come on, some people are going to be sleeping with a house bot. Some of these women, some of these men are going to be sleeping with Android Bob and Android Susie. For some, AI is going to be their new God, lowercase g. That is the danger. The answer is not fear. The answer is what? Discernment. Spiritual firmness, historical memory, family, truth, and identity before Yahuah. If the operation is designed to fracture reality, then the response must be to stand on what cannot be rewritten. Truth, creation, moral order, and the identity of mankind as something made, not manufactured. Humanity is Yah's creation. Second Thessalonians 2:11 and 12. And for this cause, Yahuah shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. How do you make it through this thing? How do you survive what we're going through? Because humanity's being fractured. You have to believe the truth. Well, who is true? What is truth? Yah's word is truth. Yahuah is truth. Yahusha is truth. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. But for many, they're going to fall to the strong delusion. It's ontological warfare. It's the Mandela Effect. It is the matrix that we're all in. Matthew 10, 19 and 21. But when they deliver you up, take no thought of how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put together. Why will this happen? Why will families turn on each other? Because they've been fractured. The world is under a strong delusion. But the scripture tells you how to survive this thing. Do y'all want to know how to survive? You should know already. I'll tell you how to survive this thing. For they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. That's the only way. Better believe and trust in the shed blood of the Lamb of God, of Yahuah. You better believe the word that was spoken and the promises therein. And you best not be scared that you might have to die. I understand that what I'm doing is risky. I'm not scared to die. I don't want to die, but I'm not scared to die. When you think about it, according to history, all of the apostles died. I don't want to die. But the times we're living in is very dangerous because we're in the most dangerous of warfare, and that is psychological warfare. That's this ontological warfare that has you questioning your reality, has you questioning your mind, your thoughts. Having you question your relationships. Having you question if Yahuah exists. Don't get it twisted. AI as a tool is pretty powerful. But you must understand it's just a tool. But they're fracturing you to think of it as a God, which is why they're going to cause many to worship the image of the beast. What? That speaks and causes many not to worship, to be killed. It's an image. It's an idol. It's a robot. I have to say this because based upon my gut feeling, not much time left. Whatever that means, take it for what it means. My gut feeling says a lot of people ain't making it. Because they don't know that they're being manipulated. They're still chasing and running after filthy lucre. They're still betraying their family and their friends and those who love them and try to help them. They're still trying to be famous. They still think their status and their money means anything, but it's all going to be taken away very soon. What you going to do when you broke again? What you gonna do when your fame is gone? What you gonna do when they put you back in the ghettos? Because they are. You gonna own nothing and be happy. I know some of y'all took that satanic oath. But if you a Negro, you're gonna lose on both sides. You better turn to the only begotten son of Yahuah, which is Yahushua, who's our elder brother, who's our Elohim, who's our Savior. We needed help. So Yahushua came down what? To save his people from their sins. And to judge the nations for what they've done to us. Did you think we're getting out of this worldwide captivity without a fight of the utmost severity? Did you think, as the devil thought he won by scattering us to the four corners and making us slaves in all nations, and thought he had us locked down, that he wouldn't have a plan that just in case these Negroes woke up, they'll subjugate us? They didn't have enough of people, and they can't control humanity yet. So they had to create the technology to create Agent Smiths, Open Claw, Chat GPT, Claw. What we're dealing with is something we can't handle. And if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and forgive their sins and heal their land. Who? The scattered people to the four corners who went into captivity as slaves, who in the land of their captivity remembered themselves. Y'all, we told y'all 2019, all hell will break loose. Where we at today? You don't believe us? If you're new to the channel, go watch our old videos. We warned you. We got beaten up and castigated and lied on, of course. But that's what happens when you tell the truth. You see how many people in here right now, 576? Most people ain't going to hear the truth. Most people not going to know what's happening to them. Most people ain't going to know that they are being fractured, manipulated. Most people follow the entertainers who are blind leading the blind, and guess what? They both gonna fall into the ditch. Don't let the devil get you. Most people in the matrix and don't realize it. You can see it. Those with spiritual discernment can see it. Those with spiritual discernment know everything I'm telling you is 1,000% true. But I will say this. Those who know their Elohim shall be strong and do exploits. This is going to be a supernatural battle. Don't get it twisted. You can't break free of a trap that has your mind locked down. There's no key. There's no bars. They got humanity locked down in the mind. That's why they think they won. Some of y'all still going down there to cast your vote. Do what you want. When the scriptures tell you don't put nobody over you but another Israelite. It's all a game. It's a monopoly game. And some of y'all want to play with paper money. Some of y'all giving up your life, eternal life, for paper money. Some of y'all giving up your eternal life for fame and fortune. Y'all think that's a fair trade. I was talking to someone. I think was it Brother Red? I think I was talking to Red. And we were talking about eternity. And how the Bible talks about we don't know what we're going to look like with our eternal resurrected body, but we're going to be like him. What does that even mean? See, right now, I'd have to say, and I'm sure you agree with me, that mankind as a whole is not as smart as AI on the physical level, on the practical level, but not on the spiritual level. AI can't touch us on the spiritual level. Why? Because we got a creator. We're connected to a creator. But remember, we're under a curse, right? Because Adam fell. Our body's cursed, creation's cursed, humanity's cursed. This is a cursed system. Can you imagine what it's going to be like without the curse? Can you imagine what it's going to be like with a resurrected body? AI ain't going to be able to touch us. Why? We're going to know everything. Well, Yahuah, how can you say we're going to know everything? Because we're going to abide in the vine. Who's the vine? Yahushua. Who's Yahushua? He's God in human flesh. And the vine is connected to the root. To who? Yahuah. We're going to be called the sons of God. And if we're connected to the Almighty Eternal One and we are part of his family, how do we not know all things? How are we not going to be smarter than the AI agents? The things that humanity is trying to create, Yahuah gives you for free. Well, not for free, because Yahushua had to die for us. But he gives it to us because he loves us. He says, how will he not freely give us all things who gave us his only begotten son? Can you imagine? AI can't light a candle to us in our resurrected bodies. And people giving that up for money and fame, and for wickedness, and for darkness, and for hatred, and for sexual immorality. It's insane. That's why I told you my prayer is grace and mercy. Grace, I can't make it on my own. I'm not getting out of this, family, by running. I'm not getting out without Yahushua's help. And we're not getting out of here treating each other like trash. And we're not getting out of here with men hating black women, hating black men, and black men hating black women. It ain't happening. The only way out is through righteousness. The only way out is through holiness, being set apart from this system. The only way out is loving each other. The rest of the world don't love each other. I'm not talking about feelings. I'm talking about how we respond to each other. I'm talking about how we treat each other. I'm talking about how we respect each other. I'm talking about how we tell the truth to each other. I'm talking about how we protect each other from the lies and the deceptions and the occult. We got to be different. Y'all know Tail Ministries is different. We ain't like nobody else. We ain't like no other Israelite channel. We ain't like no Christian channel. We ain't playing no religions. We ain't trying to get no followers. Why? Because we want to serve Yahushua. He's our king. He's our leader. Fear Yah and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Most people don't fear Yah. You know why they don't fear Yah? Y'all do know, right? Most people don't fear Yah because they don't know him. They don't know him. That's why we don't treat people wrong. That's why we don't lie on people, manipulate people. That's why we do good. That's why we sacrifice and try to walk humbly. We try because we fear Yah. That's why we don't compromise the word, even though people try to compromise the word and tell us we crazy. These aren't the droids you're looking for, because we fear Yah. If you know him, you're going to fear him. Don't get it twisted. He's the creator. I told you, Yahuah is a consuming fire. Don't get it twisted. Most humanity don't know him. Fear Yah and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Don't get it twisted. I'm not playing games. I believe the word. I'm sold out. I told you I'm not letting go of Yahushua. I'm not letting go. I know I'm not a typical pastor. Pastors try to compromise to make everybody happy so they can pay tithes. I don't do that. Not going to do it. Yahushua's my supplier. So for those who love Tail Ministries, think we're doing a good job, you can support us by going to tailministries.com, go to the donations page. You can give. Cash App, $TOTW7101. You can do that as well. You can also like, share, and subscribe. That helps a lot. Even though, you know, we were already demonetized years and years ago. And, you know, definitely, you know, algorithms are, you know, shutting us down. But I mean, it don't matter to me. It don't matter to me. We could have 5 people watching. I don't care. Because those are going to be 5 good people, 5 loving people. As the people in here who support this ministry and who love this ministry, that's all we need. We love y'all. Y'all love us. I'm glad we got some of y'all who love us. And we appreciate it. And we appreciate the support. That's why we do what we do, because we love y'all and love y'all. We love our people. We're not playing. We're not playing. It's not a game. We don't want no church. We don't want no big ministry. We don't care about none of that. Yeah, Yahuah could be a little rough around the edges sometimes, but it's because I love y'all. I told y'all that. I told y'all that. But, you know, hey, better to have somebody tell you the truth than tell you a lie. Well, fam, that's all I got. Love y'all with the love of Messiah. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ended. If you haven't done so, you can buy my brother's book. They always knew we were Israelites. You can buy my book, True Jerusalem, the Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites. Well, family, the wait is over. The moment has arrived where truth emerges triumphant from the shadows of history. Introducing the True Jerusalem, the Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites, the groundbreaking work by me, Yahuah Veil, a journey into the past that reshapes the future. I cut through centuries of misconceptions with piercing clarity. This book delivers a compelling case packed with evidence that commands attention and gonna get some respect. Come with me for a second, family, and discover how these thrilling civilizations flourished, protected by towering highlands and sustained by advanced engineering. Some have asked, where is Jerusalem? Is it the land in the Middle East? I say no. It is in the highlands of Ethiopia. With hours of groundbreaking research, this book brings in a new revelation, and it will transform your understanding of African history and its connections to the ancient world. It's going to remove from your mind the conditioning by the Romans of what has really happened to our past. Come with me, family, to the Ethiopian highlands and find out why this is our land, why things have been hidden and obfuscated for centuries. We are royalty, children of the Most High. What kind of land do you expect us to have? Dried up dirt in the Middle East, or land flowing with rivers? A land full of beautiful animals flowing with milk and honey. Don't miss out on this monumental unveiling. Grab your copy today and stand on the side of truth. Visit Amazon.com or www.tailministries.com to purchase your book and join Yahuah Veil's teachings on Tail Ministries. Family, your journey to a hidden history has now begun. So family, get your copy of True Jerusalem, The Lost Kingdoms of the Israelites today. Journey into the heart of Africa, where history and legend converge to reveal the forgotten kingdoms of the Israelites and the true location of Jerusalem.